You ever notice how the ground never shakes when it's supposed to? The biggest changes don't happen at rallies or in speeches. They happen in quiet courtrooms, slipped into rulings most people never read. And that's exactly what just happened. 1 month, 15 rulings, and suddenly the rules every gun owner thought were carved in stone got ripped out and rewritten. This wasn't Congress. This wasn't an election. This was the courts slamming the brakes on years of overreach, and in some cases, flipping the power right back into your hands. These aren't headlines to scroll past, they're survival guides. So stick with me, because what you're about to hear isn't rumor, it's the new order. 15 rules that every single gun owner needs to know after the court's shocking September ruling. And trust me, no one saw rule number 1 coming. So let's get started. Rule number 15. Record every second. The moment those lights hit your rearview mirror, the clock starts ticking and every second counts. One wrong word, one missing detail, and suddenly it's your word against theirs. That's why the preemptive documentation strike is your lifeline. 3 taps on your phone, record, timestamp, and announce. It is date, time, location. I am legally carrying and recording this encounter. That's it. You've just built a shield of evidence stronger than any badge excuse. Courts can no longer ignore those first critical moments. They decide whether you walk free or drain your life savings fighting false charges. Without a record, it's a gamble. With one, it's proof. Rule number 14. Announce your moves. People don't get shot in courtrooms, they get shot roadside, in parking lots, during split-second encounters where every gesture can be mistaken for a threat. The fix is simple, but it feels unnatural. Narrate every move before you make it. Officer, my wallet's in my right pocket. I'm slowly reaching now. Wait, move, announce again. Courts are now required to review whether you gave warnings, whether your movements were clear. That means body cams become your ally, not your enemy. Silence gets twisted into suspicious. But words, they tell the truth. Narration is your survival tool, because in those tense moments, clarity isn't courtesy, it's armor. Rule number 13. Travel with legal protection. Imagine driving from Pennsylvania to Vermont with your hunting rifle locked in your trunk. You cross into New Jersey, blue lights flash, and suddenly you're a criminal. At least that's how it used to be. September's Safe Harbor Doctrine ruling changed the map overnight. If your firearm is unloaded, locked, and separate from ammo, federal law now shields you, no matter what a restrictive state says. The court made it clear. The right to travel with your property doesn't end at a border. That means no more patchwork traps, no more prosecutors twisting technicalities. Your car just became your legal fortress, recognized coast to coast. Rule number 12. Don't open the door, hold your ground. For decades, the simple act of cracking your door could sink you. Courts treated it as implied consent, letting police step in and flip your home into a crime scene. But September's rulings rewrote that script. Now the Home Sanctuary Protocol is ironclad. No warrant, no entry. Officers can knock, ask questions, or bluff about urgency, but unless they've got papers signed by a judge, your threshold is off limits. The smartest move? Speak through the door, or step outside and close it behind you. Every gun, every round in your house stays protected. Your castle finally means your castle, and the line can't be crossed without proof. Rule number 11. Miranda before the handcuffs. Most people think Miranda rights kick in only after the cuffs click. That mistake has cost gun owners their freedom for decades. The Miranda activation trigger ruling changed everything. The moment an officer shifts tone, restricts your movement, or treats your firearm as evidence, that's custodial. You don't wait. You say, "Officer, I want to remain silent and have an attorney present before answering any questions." From that instant, every word they try to pull becomes evidence against them, not you. The key is silence. Don't explain, don't justify. The protocol only works if you lock it down and let the Constitution speak for you. Rule number 10. Permit portability is changing everything. For years, crossing a border with your permit felt like playing legal roulette. Valid in one state, worthless in the next. September's reciprocity mandate flipped that system upside down. Courts ruled carry permits fall under the same full faith and credit clause that makes marriages and driver's licenses valid nationwide. Translation? Your Utah card works in Manhattan. Your Florida card works in California. No registration, no special hoops. States can't carve exceptions anymore. Anti-gun states are panicking because this wasn't Congress. It was the courts forcing reciprocity. For the first time, the right to carry isn't boxed in by state lines. It's recognized everywhere. Rule number 9. Know the escalation signs. Police encounters don't usually blow up out of nowhere. They escalate in a pattern. And if you spot the signs early, you can keep yourself alive. The escalation recognition system ruling forced courts to review not just what you did, but how officers escalated. Watch for the shift. Professional voice turning aggressive. Demands replacing requests. Hands hovering near weapons. Or your rights suddenly ignored. That's the danger zone. The move? Switch to defensive compliance. Speak slower, clearer, and document every word. Remind the officer you're complying within lawful orders. That one phrase creates a record showing you knew the line, and they may have crossed it. Rule number 8. Keep your car a legal fortress. Your vehicle isn't just transportation. Under the Vehicle Fortress Defense Rule, it's your castle on wheels. Courts said the old officer safety excuse no longer justifies rummaging through your car if you're armed and licensed. The script is simple. Officer, I am legally licensed, currently armed, my firearm is secured, and I do not consent to any searches. That single statement does 3 things. It discloses legally, removes surprise, and locks in your constitutional boundaries. For decades, traffic stops were the back door for illegal searches. That back door is closed. Your rights ride with you, and now the law backs that up. No warrant, no entry. Rule number 7. You can build for yourself. For years, the ATF painted home-built firearms as ghost guns, a loophole waiting to be shut. But this September, the courts went the other way. The Home Manufacturing Revolution ruling declared that making a firearm for personal use is a right as old as the country itself. From colonial workshops to modern 3D printers, Americans have always built their own tools for defense. Forcing serial numbers? The court said it could even violate your Fifth Amendment rights if the gun is ever used in self-defense. Translation? Your garage, your bench, your printer, they're protected. Build it, own it, and you don't need permission from Washington to do it. Rule number 6. Say less, stay safe. Most gun owners lose the battle with their own words. That's why the Silent Shield Protocol exists, and now it's stronger than ever. One line flips the power in your favor. Officer, I'm invoking my right to remain silent, my right to an attorney, and I do not consent to searches. Say it once, then lock your mouth. Because after that, anything they squeeze out isn't evidence, it's a violation. Cops used to bait people into talking themselves into trouble. Now silence isn't suspicion, it's protection. The moment you invoke it, the law shifts onto your side. Talk less, survive more. Rule number 5. Ammo rights are full rights. What good is a rifle without rounds? For years, politicians thought they could choke off the ammo supply and sidestep the Second Amendment. Background checks on every box, serialized cartridges, online purchase bans, all designed to make your firearm nothing more than a paperweight. But this September, the ammunition equality ruling crushed that scheme. Judges said it plain. A gun without ammo is just an expensive club. The right to bear arms includes the right to make those arms work. That means California's ammo checks, New York's bans, Illinois' serialization schemes, all on the chopping block. The Constitution doesn't stop at the trigger, it covers the cartridge too. Rule number 4. States can shut down federal data pipelines. Here's the part nobody saw coming. The Database Destruction Order. For decades, the ATF quietly hoarded millions of gun records in searchable databases, even when Congress banned registries. Courts finally pulled the plug. Within 90 days, those digitized records must be destroyed, and it doesn't stop there. Any state that shares its registry with the feds is now participating in an illegal federal registry. Translation? Sanctuary states can cut off Washington completely. That's over 800 million records blacked out overnight. Background checks now have holes, intel pipelines are severed, and federal eyes just went blind. For the first time, the map belongs to the people, not the database. Rule number 3. When to tell them you're armed. This one has been debated forever. Should you tell an officer you're carrying, or keep quiet unless asked? September's disclosure decision matrix finally gave clarity. The ruling says you don't have to volunteer the info unless state law explicitly requires it. And if you do, the court emphasized you should only disclose once, clearly, calmly, and without reaching for anything. Over-disclosing, fumbling around, or talking too much creates confusion and risk. The takeaway? Know your state's law. Have one sentence ready and leave it at that. Anything beyond that risks turning a routine stop into something much worse. Rule number 2. Officer safety no longer a blank check. For decades, officer safety was the magic phrase that let cops stretch the rules. Temporary seizures, pat-downs, even taking your firearm just for the duration, all justified under that umbrella. But courts finally slammed the brakes. The Officer Safety Destruction Protocol ruling made it clear. Safety concerns can't erase your constitutional rights. Officers now need real, immediate, and specific threats, not vague feelings, to justify disarming or detaining you. That phrase they used to lean on? It's no longer a free pass. From now on, officer safety must be backed by facts. Otherwise, their actions are unconstitutional, and they carry personal liability for crossing the line. Rule number 1. Federal agents can be held personally liable. Here's the nuclear one. For decades, federal agents operated under a shield of immunity. Kick down the wrong door, seize the wrong gun, enforce a rule later ruled unconstitutional. They walked away untouched while citizens paid the price. That era is over. The Enforcement Immunity Reversal ruling stripped away that protection. If an agent enforces a gun law that doesn't stand under the Constitution, they're not covered by Washington anymore. They're personally on the hook. Civil lawsuits, career-ending judgments, millions in damages coming out of their own pocket. This isn't just policy, it's a total power flip. States like Missouri and Texas are already drafting lawsuits against federal officers who cross the line. Judges are green-lighting cases that would have been laughed out of court last year. And insurance companies, they are walking away from covering federal agents entirely. The message is brutal but clear. The badge is not a license to shred the Bill of Rights. From now on, the risk is theirs, not yours, which means the next time DC tries to push an unconstitutional order, agents have to ask themselves, am I willing to risk my own house, my own savings, my own future on this? That hesitation is a shield gun owners have been waiting for, and it just landed with the force of a gavel heard nationwide. So guys, that's the new reality. 15 rules, each one reshaping your rights overnight. The courts just reminded everyone, the Constitution speaks louder than politics. But don't forget, the same people who lost today are already plotting tomorrow. Stay sharp, stay ready, and use these rulings like armor. Which one hit you the hardest? Let me know in the comments because this fight isn't over and your voice is part of the battle. Stay tuned, more knowledge is coming your way. And remember, rights survive only when citizens refuse to stay silent.